All right, when you go to different groups, they'll tell you you can receive sideband on an NC57. It's not really that true. You have to turn the RF gain down and put the BFO on, and then slowly bring the RF gain up, back and forth, and you can hear somebody in sideband. But you lose the sensitivity of the radio. Now, so what you really need is a product detector. And I thought about this for several days. I built a product detector and put it in one of my NC57s. And then I started thinking, well, what's the difference between, now this is the wire here. I did cut my fingernails. This wire here comes up from the BFO and from the tube. All right? That's the one that normally wraps around, I think it's in the area of 6H6. And that adds a 455 tone to the detection area. And you'll be able to beat code and set again. You'll get, okay? That's what a BFO does. Now, what a product detector does, the signals they're mixed together. They're not added together. So the first thing that you have to do is, right here, this is just your second IF. We have to have a little bit of gain. So you take that wire off where it went to 6H6, leave it up in the air for a while. Now, you got a 6SG7 in this socket. This is the second IF. You unplug it. You plug in a 6SJ7, which on pin 3 has an extra grid. That's what we want. Now, you take that pin 3 and you put it to ground through a 100K resistor. All right, so now basically that tube is operating exactly like the 6SG7 you took out. All right, radio's basically the same. Now, you take the wire that's coming up from the BFO that normally goes to 6H6, and you add a capacitor on there, anywhere from 15 picofarad to 50 picofarads. And you run that capacitor to pin 3. Now you have a mixer or a product detector. When you go to receive, you're in BFO position, you want to receive a sideband, and that's what you do. You tune it in. You use it as a clarifier. You're only talking like this, and then all of a sudden he's like that. That's how it should work. Now, there's a side thing a slight problem that can happen. When you add this capacitor onto the BFO circuit, it lowers the frequency of the tone. So when you go to adjust your BFO, you might almost get it to the guy's voice will start to get good, but it still seems like it's a little bit sideband. Well, you're going to have to break the collet and not break the collet, undo the set screw on the collet of the BFO coil and make the necessary adjustment. All right? And how you do that, you put it on AM broadcast station and you zero beat it. And you'll notice you can't zero beat after you added this capacitor. You can do it ahead of time. And so anyway, you have to go in on your BFO coil. There's a collet, there's a set screw. You have to hold the outer shaft and then rotate the inner shaft of the coil. This stuff you should not know how to do if you want to add a product detector. But adding a product detector to this radio is basically seamless. When you go out of the BFO position, this tube goes right back to being a second IF tube. All right? Now, I've explained this so an intermediate person could actually do this. You got to change the tube from a 6SG7 to a 6SJ7. And you'll notice if you look at the tube diagram, the 6SJ7 has a pin 3 that has a grid. And that's the one we're going to mix the BFO signal on. We're making a mixer, which becomes a product detector. It's very simple. And the only thing that could go wrong is your BFO coil is a little bit. Needs to be adjusted a little bit. But, I'm giving you all the facts. 100K resistor from pin 3 to ground. 15 picofarad to 50 picofarad capacitor from the old wire that used to be wrapped around in the 6H6 area. And that's, you're adding the BFO tone to a circuit. You're not mixing it. There's a difference between just putting a signal near something else and it just gets in there, or using a grid which basically synchronizes the sine waves together. I'll let you go read up on it, but that's how I did it. That's why, I kept saying this chassis has been modified to death, and it turned out to be one of my mods. I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute. I come up with an idea of putting a product detector, a 6SJ7 seems so familiar to me, and that's because I've ordered a few of them. But this is a great experiment, but it's not for everybody. Well, I tried it, but go away. Don't even email me if you don't understand what we just did or what I just did. All right? These values are not in cement. That 100K holds that grid, so when we're not using it, it doesn't diminish the tube, the amount of gain that tube has. And you might say, well, I would go do it. I don't care. Yeah, I just told you how to put a product detector in this radio, and we have to put it in the second IF. We can't put it up around the 6H6 or anywhere else because there's not enough gain. We need a little bit of gain so we can get some mixing going there. And I'm showing you something really cool. And in operation, you have your gain up all the way on your radio, and you flip your BFO switch on, and you turn the BFO knob until the guy's voice clears up. There's no adjusting the RF amp on the radio or the gain control on the radio. All right, and so when the guy's far away, he'll be clarified. When he's close up, he'll be where if you do it the old system where you cut the gain control back, sometimes the guy close by, you get him adjusted good, and then when they're going out in the distance, he sounds like this. Okay, I hope you understand. I hope you enjoyed it. I think that's it. All right, that's it.